Howdy folks, Dave here at Thunder Mesa Studio, where this week I'm embarking on a little carpentry project because I need to build a lightweight but sturdy portable stand for the On30 San Lorenzo mini layout. I've been working on this project for the past couple of months, and if you've been following along, you know that this little layout is a tribute to my late friend Verne Niner and his wonderful On30 Estrella Sonora Grande layout. And I'm using the structures and figures and other details from his award-winning San Lorenzo diorama. Got a lot to cover this time out, so let's jump right in and get to work. Up until now, the layout has been supported on, some shop shelves and boxes, and that just won't do going forward. And I like my layouts to be just a little taller than this, right about 52 inches above the floor. I find that's a really nice height for being able to see the whole thing, get down here and, kind of imagine yourself in the scene if you want to. So what I need to do is take a couple of measurements and find out how tall I need the stand to be. So measure down from 52, okay? And then measure the height of the layout from the layout deck down to the bottom of the benchwork. That's 6 inches. So we need a stand that is 46 inches tall. Pretty straightforward. I've got a pretty good idea of what I want to build here, so now I just need to make a trip over to my local lumber yard and pick up some wood and some other materials to make this happen. What did I say? 46 inches tall? I think I actually want to make this 45 and a half because I'm going to have some little rubber feet on the bottom that are about a half inch tall, and then that'll bring it up to the full 46 inches. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces this length. This is some pre-stained 1x4s I picked up down at my local lumber yard. The stain job's not very good. They're kind of going for a weathered barnwood look, but it's a good start. I think I can make it work. So basically, I'm building these kind of 1x4 frames, and I want it to be, the front frame will be 30 inches wide, and then the sides will be 20 inches wide. The layout is 24 by 48, so it'll, sit under there and there'll be overhang all the way around, which will look nice. So for the top pieces, which are going to fit in between those uprights, I need to subtract the width of 2 of these 1x4s. And of course, 1x4s aren't actually 1x4. They're 3/4 of an inch by 3.5. So that's 7 inches. So we need top and bottom pieces that are 23 inches. Oh, I hate these stupid tags. Hate them. And then for the sides, I need top rails that are 20 inches wide, minus 6, that's 13. Then minus 3/4 of an inch for the front, that's 12 and 1/4. And I need 4 pieces that size. This thing's only going to be 3-sided because it goes up against the wall. It can be open in the back. Makes it a little easier. If I don't mess this up, I should be able to get all the pieces I need out of this remaining 1x4. With an inch to spare. Look at that. Can I math or can I math? Now we can start putting things together. We've got this front panel laid out here on the floor, and you can start to see how this is going to go together. This is the back side, so this is the inside of the stand. I'm going to take a 1x2 and attach it here, and another one down there to the bottom, 3/4 of an inch in from the outside, so the sides will fit in like that. And don't worry, this isn't the only thing I'm going to be using to hold this thing together. I'm going to be going in from the back with screws, so you won't see any fasteners on the front. I'm going to be using some 1 1/4 inch cabinet screws. And I don't want to go all the way through with my pilot holes, so I'm going to use the old trick of putting a piece of tape around my drill bit here, so I know where to so I know where to stop when I'm drilling the hole. Slather everything up with some wood glue first of all. Okay, now the same thing on the bottom side. Now the two side frames are going to go together pretty much exactly the same way, except that now the 1x2 has been moved down by 1.5 inches, the width of this 1x2 here, so that when it's in place, they'll come in right underneath that one and kind of lock into place. And the same thing again down here at the bottom end. Okay, now I just need to build another one exactly like this for the other side. Well, you know, I had several different ideas about how to join these corners in such a way that the thing will be easy to break down and travel with. I thought hinges, hasps, clamps, and different kind of clasps and things like that. But what I finally arrived back on was just some simple metal corner braces like this. I'll put 4 of these, 2 on each side,
at least 2. And then I just have to unscrew a couple of wood screws and the whole thing breaks down. Now I understand, of course, that over time those holes are going to wallow out from breaking it down and putting it back up, and breaking it down, putting it back up. But realistically, I personally don't travel that much with these things, so once a year, maybe. I think it'll be fine. So the idea is one will be, be permanently attached on one side, and I'll just have to take out a couple of screws right there. Now I need a couple of removable braces across the back, so I've cut another piece of 1x2 to length, and we'll install a couple of these corner brackets on this. Well, you get the idea. Now down here on the bottom, I used a scrap piece of 1x4. Now let me turn this whole thing around. Well, as my old cousin Virgil would say, it's not a bad looking squirrel trap so far. Let's see if we can dress it up a little bit. And before I break this whole thing down again, I'm going to mark each piece so I'll know how it all goes back together. Now this is some reed fencing that I picked up at the garden center, my local Home Depot. And the idea here is I'm going to cut some pieces out of this and then fill in each of these panels with it. And it should give it a real, kind of south of the border, southwesty look. Cool thing about this stuff, it's just rustic. So, it can look tropical, it can look southwesty. It just depends on the application. Hopefully, it'll work and look kind of cool in these panels. So for this big panel, I'm going to need a piece that's 42 inches by 28. Now, since the weave on this is pretty loose, my plan is to double each piece, just kind of fold it over like I'm doing here. I'll cut through each one of these little connections, then we'll trim it to the right height. These measurements and cuts aren't, critical. Just need to get it in the ballpark. Okay. Use that for the tiki bark. All right. Not bad. Now I've got some 1/2-inch staples loaded in my staple gun. And go to town here. Now let's see how that looks, huh? All right. Just what I had in mind. guys weren't looking, I went back and added some black cloth behind those reeds just to make everything more opaque. You know, I would have shown you the whole process, but I figured by now you've probably seen me put in enough staples. Really not that much to it. Now I think I can finish up the rest of this back at the studio. Okay, I've got everything here. I just finished moving the layout off the shelves and putting it over there. Moved the shelves out of the way. Made myself a little space to work in. And now I can finish putting the stand together and get it all back over here where it belongs. Easy, right? I want to add these little silicone rubber feet to the bottom of each of the panels. That'll keep them from slipping around, and it'll bring it up to the final height that I need it to be. Now, some of you may be asking why I chose not to put casters on it this time, and well, the short answer is I didn't think it would need them. I don't intend to be rolling this thing around very much. I may come to regret that decision, but I guess we'll find out. So that's what those feet look like, if you're curious. Got all my screws, and now I can start putting this thing back together again. All right. It only took about 10 minutes to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Before I put the layout on this, a couple of little modifications I want to make. And the first one is to add a holder for my NCE power cab. Plugs in right up here, so this looks like a good spot for it. I picked this up over on Etsy or eBay. I can't remember which, but if I can find the link to it, I'll put it in the video description down below. It's actually 3D printed, very nicely made. And inside here, I want to add a power strip. And this will be the main power for the whole layout. I'll be able to just reach around the back and flip the whole thing off or on because all of the various wall warts and components will be plugged into this. Now it's got these mounting holes on the back for screws. You guys all know this trick? Take a piece of masking tape, put it over those holes like that. And you take your pencil, or a pen or a marker of some kind, and you mark where the holes are. Then you can pull the piece of masking tape off and put it where you want to mount that power strip, and it shows you exactly where to drill the holes. Just like that. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone to help me lift this thing today. It's not that heavy, it's just kind of unwieldy. I have taken all of the fragile plaster buildings off, so hopefully this will go reasonably smoothly. Lift with your legs, folks. And if I have this centered on here, there should be a 9-inch overhang on each side, and you know what? That looks just about perfect. So I'm going to put a couple of marks on here. Make it easier to line up next time. Now the layout will be held to the stand with 4 of these sliding bar clamps, which I found are more than up to the job. Just joining the cross beam of the benchwork to the top of the stand. Really easy. There we go. Now I can plug the various wall warts back in. That one's for the lights, this one's for the sound system, and this one is for the throttle. Yeah. Now I can carefully scooch this thing back into position. Now I can put all the structures back into place. Let's see how we did here on the height. I almost forgot to measure. 52 inches, the top of the railhead. Not bad. Now I can plug in the power cab. I'll reach around back here and flip the main power on. There we go. Well, I won't really know for sure until I have to move this thing again, but I think it's safe to say that this project was a success. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and keep in mind there's more coming on the San Lorenzo mini layout and the other projects here at Thunder Mesa Studio, so I hope you're subscribed with those notifications turned on so you won't miss those. And in the meantime, you can also follow for free over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/ThunderMesa, or on Instagram at thunder.mesa, or check out the resources available at the Thunder Mesa Studio website. That's thundermesa.studio. As always, a huge thank you to our Patreon members who help to make these videos possible. Until next time, keep moving forward, everybody. Adios for now.